He was nobody special. Just another face you might see and instantly forget. A man who clocked in and clocked out, his life measured in the quiet hum of a delivery truck's engine and the rustle of cardboard boxes. His name was Rick. His world was small. Familiar routes through the sleepy suburbs of Northwood. He knew the streets by heart. Houses with dogs barking in the yard. Houses with wind chimes in the breeze. He was a creature of habit, a life of predictable patterns and quiet routines. He was just a man doing his job, invisible to most. Rick wasn't a detective. Rick wasn't a police officer. He had never dreamed of solving crimes or chasing criminals at night. His dreams were simpler, a hot meal after a long shift, maybe watching a game on his worn-out armchair. He kept his head down. He believed in doing his part, not causing trouble. He saw the world from behind his truck's windshield, a silent observer of lives unfolding. People rarely noticed him, just the package on the doorstep. Part of the background, the unseen machinery keeping the world turning. His days were a blur of sameness. Pick up packages at the depot before dawn. Load the truck in a practiced order, hit the road. Each stop, a brief interaction, not a person but a porch, a mailbox, a front door. He would scan the label, grab the box, make the drop. Quick, efficient, perfected over the years. It goes in a brown uniform, fleeting, a stranger to them all, completely and utterly unremarkable, but sometimes the most unremarkable people see what everyone else misses. And on one ordinary Tuesday, that familiarity let him spot the one tiny thing that was horribly, terribly wrong. The one thing the trained eyes had completely overlooked. It started with a delivery. Just another box, just another address on his long list for the day. The house was like any other on the block, a 2-story home with a neatly trimmed lawn and a cheerful-looking wreath on the door. Police had already been there. Yellow tape, now taken down, had cordoned it off. Just a week before, a stark temporary scar on the neighborhood's peaceful facade. The news had called it a tragedy, a home invasion gone wrong. The case was cold, the leads had dried up, and the police had moved on to other more pressing matters. It seemed strange, a delivery to a house that was now empty, its inhabitants gone forever. Still, the job was the job. He pulled his truck over to the curb, hopped down onto the pavement, and started his short walk up the driveway. As he approached the front porch, his eyes scanned the area, a habit born from years of looking for safe places to leave packages. His gaze drifted to the side of the porch, near a thick hedge that ran along the foundation of the house. Something was there, caught in the lower branches of the bush. His first instinct was to ignore it and move on, but he didn't. It was almost completely hidden from view unless you were standing at just the right angle, at just the right height. The exact perspective of a delivery driver about to place a package on the porch. But he knew with a certainty that chilled him to the bone that he had just found what the police had missed. As he drew his hand back, he opened his palm. Lying there stark against his skin was a small silver object. It was a cufflink. A cufflink. Why would a cufflink be in this bush? In a struggle, things get torn, things get lost. A man fighting for his life might lose a cufflink. This wasn't a lost toy. This felt important. This felt like evidence. He was suddenly burdened with a responsibility he had never asked for. Rick's mind was a whirlwind of frantic thoughts. He quickly placed the parcel deep within the foliage of another bush. He needed to get away from this house. He sat a long moment, staring through the windshield, seeing nothing. How could he continue delivering boxes of pet food when he might be holding the key to solving a murder in his pocket? A self-preservation instinct told him to throw it away, but then he thought of the family. The little girl who used to wave at him. They deserved justice. Finally, he made a decision. He pulled over to a quiet road and killed the engine. He took a deep breath, then dialed the Northwood Police Department non-emergency number.
Northwood Police, non-emergency line. How can I help you?
He cleared his throat. Yes, my name is Rick. I'm a delivery driver. I think I found something.
A cufflink, you say? Sir, our forensics team conducted a thorough grid search of that entire property. Are you sure it wasn't just a piece of jewelry someone dropped recently?
I'm sure. Rick insisted. It was deep in the bush, caked with a bit of mud. It didn't look like it was dropped yesterday.
All right, sir. What's your name and number? If a detective decides it's worth following up on, they'll give you a call.
He had done his part, but he was left with the sinking feeling that it wasn't nearly enough. 2 days passed, then 3. The promised call from a detective never came.
Everything all right, Rick? You seem like you've got your head in the clouds. Rick, you need to let this go. The cops know what they're doing. It's not your job to be a hero.
The wall of disbelief was higher than he had ever imagined. After a full week of silence, something inside Rick snapped. He had to try one more time.
I have physical evidence. Something your forensics team missed. I have it with me right now.
I'll see if Detective Miller is available. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Detective Miller. The sergeant tells me you think you found the Holy Grail.
He didn't embellish or speculate. He just laid out the facts as he knew them.
You found this in the azalea bush by the front porch? Mr. Rick, thank you. We're going to take a second look at this. A much closer look.
The lab report landed on Detective Miller's desk. The results were more significant than he could have hoped for. The biggest breakthrough, however, was something far more low-tech. It was a set of tiny, engraved initials, LG. With the initials LG as their new North Star, the investigative team began the painstaking work of cross-referencing. The breakthrough came from an unexpected direction. The neighbor had mentioned the man who was fussy and had adjusted his French cuffs during the argument. A name finally surfaced. A former colleague, after a bitter falling out, Lawrence Gable. His initials were LG. Lawrence Gable fit the profile perfectly. A surveillance team was tasked with tailing Lawrence Gable, waiting for him to discard something. The next morning, Detective Miller got the call he had been waiting for. It was a match. Rick's discovery had done more than just provide a clue. It had identified the killer. The arrest was swift and quiet. As he was handcuffed, his jacket rolled up. One cuff had a silver and blue cufflink. The other was fastened with a safety pin. The discovery was the prosecution's most stunning moment. It wasn't a master sleuth or high-tech lab. It was an ordinary delivery driver. The case was no longer cold, it was closed. Rick's name never appeared in press conferences. The story of Lawrence Gable's conviction became a local legend. But the true story was the story of Rick. His life did not dramatically change, yet something within him had been irrevocably altered. This story is a powerful reminder that the fabric of our society is held together by the unseen observers who populate our daily lives. They see the subtle shifts in pattern, the small anomalies that signal something is wrong. He was special because he was ordinary. His courage was not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. Do you believe everyday people can make a difference? Share your stories.